I have been trying to figure out how to put this video in the form of a riddle. So you ready? What do dyslexia, TBI, PTSD, falling through the cracks of medicine, and surviving some crazy along the way have in common? That would be me. This is the who, what, where, when, and why of your Curldresser's ride so far. Grab a cocktail, sit down, take a chill pill, and find out some of the crazy shit I've been through. At the end of the video, you'll find out, why am I here? Here's the Who I Am Sugar Pies. It all started on one of the hottest summers on record. I was born in 1966, so I'm kind of a border baby between the baby boomers and the Gen Xers. I kind of ride that fine line. It's a crazy story attached to my birth, but let's just say that my Leo's 9 lives, I used 1 or 2 right there. Now, back in the old days, if you were diagnosed with dyslexia back then, like I was, the doctor told my parents that I would never go to college and not to expect too much out of me. I mean, that's crazy to think about a doctor telling parents not to expect much out of their kid. So instead of going to college, I went through vocational school through my high school for cosmetology. I got licensed in 1985. I wanted to be a famous makeup artist in New York, but life had other plans for me. I went into a salon and got trained to be an esthetician, and I started to do skincare and makeup in his salon. Being an esthetician hadn't taken off yet, and I was not making enough money for me to actually move out of my parents' house and pay rent. I went into retail. I kind of climbed up the ladder, and I wound up as an area manager. When my boss, when she left, she recruited me to go to the new company, and so there I went. June 1993, my big bang. My car took down a street sign and my face connected with the steering wheel and kind of broke my face, shattered a bit. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. So, and yes, I was wearing my seatbelt, luckily, and that is what stopped me by my throat. Apparently, if you break your larynx, they just cover you up at the scene and let you go because you don't survive that. If you are ever given an analogy of a traumatic brain injury, what I'm going to tell you ain't it, okay? My parents were told by the trauma doctors that a traumatic brain injury is like putting a tennis ball in a shoebox and kick it across the floor. No, it's not. And this is from a trauma hospital. I mean, my God. They used titanium plates and the surgeon fixed my shattered eye orbit. I had 2 breaks in my cheekbone. I had a break in my upper mandible. And I also had a basal skull fracture. And after they fixed that, they put me through a CAT scan and they found I had a depressed skull fracture here. The surgeon goes out to my parents and we have to go in through the scalp. And my mother said, her hair. My name. He said, no, I'm going to make a 2-inch strip and then he will cut ear to ear to repair the depressed skull fracture. These Leo lives would be 3, 4, and 5. Check. This is my public service announcement. If you bash your face hard enough to break the bones in your face, there is a really good chance that you have a TBI. Now, my PTSD and TBI got overlooked for 2 years. And the reason was because I knew my parents' phone number and I knew who was president. I was told, you're fine. Look at you. Get on with your life. The girl with dyslexia whose parents were told that she would never amount to anything or be college material, had an IQ of 130. Who the hell knew? When you lose 15 IQ points after a car accident, you're considered legally disabled. I lost 30. That is how bad I injured my brain. In 1995, I was cleaning someone's house. He had been in a car accident, and we're talking about our accidents. And he said, mine was not as bad as yours. Why didn't they send you to Lifespan for cognitive rehabilitation? All I've been told is that I look fine and I should get on with my life. Cognitive rehab usually has the best outcomes within 3 months of the car accident. Mine was 2 years. The reason I wasn't sent is because my IQ was 100, which is considered normal. Things were not right in my brain, okay? Words coming out were not right. I couldn't find words that I should have been able to find. It is absolutely life-altering. Your brain works differently. The way we operate and feel and act is different. And no, you are not crazy, okay? Because I thought I was crazy. You have a brain injury. Let's jump forward now. Wound up at a beauty supply store and was working there, which was perfect up my alley. My husband came in with some people, and I gave my business card to one of them. And as they're leaving, my husband says very loudly, because that was my husband, "Does everyone have Erica's business card?" And I looked at him and I said, "Oh, would you like one?" And that was how I met my husband. And then we got married in 2001, had our daughter in 2002. And while I was on maternity leave, Diva came out. So when I came back, I taught myself the line, and I had already been cutting my hair dry for over 10 years. I did it myself. I do it myself. That's what our daughter used to say when she was little. It was really easy to switch and do it to other people, and I was good at it. People loved the way I cut their hair. I finally found my hair calling at 38. If you are enjoying learning all about me, please hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. Click on the bell that's at the top so you get notified every time a video posts, and it is all free. And share this video. This is me. And you're going to be seeing a lot more of these other sides of me as I share more. Stick around till the end for my all-time favorite saying. In September, my husband went to the hospital and turned out he needed a triple bypass. So after he was discharged, he got into the car and he kind of sucked in his breath. And I said, "What did you do?" He said, nothing. I thought, okay, maybe he moved wrong and the incision hurt. But no, he had popped a stitch in his leg because it was a triple bypass. So a day and a half after that, hubby's not doing well. But he is a stubborn SOB. He is so stubborn, he wants to wait until the next day to go to the hospital. Dumbass. No. I finally get him into the car, and I put the pillow on his chest, and his head fell to the side. He died. I was right there, and he died. Our 11-year-old daughter, our 11-year-old daughter was right there because I had said to her, "Say goodbye to Dad. We're leaving for the hospital." And finally, a cop arrives. He gets out of his car and he casually walks and opens the other side of the back seat, and he says, "Do you want oxygen?" I said, "Defibrillator." "Oh, I don't have one." What cop in 2014 doesn't have a defibrillator in his car? Now, this cop was too small to pull my husband out of the car by himself. So guess who had to help? So now he's on the front lawn. If I ever wanted to hit a cop, it was at that moment. I swear to God, I was so angry. Now my husband is on the front lawn, and the cop wants to do chest compressions. He wants to do chest compressions to someone who just had a triple bypass and has a wired sternum now. No defibrillator, no ambulance. Looks like we are doing chest compressions, and I get to be at his head with the thing over his face to squeeze. I was frozen. I was in such shock that all of a sudden I heard our daughter screaming, "Mom, the bag! Mom, the bag!" And I jumped and I squeezed, and then finally the ambulance came. Okay, seriously? You've now done chest compressions on a man who's on the front lawn after a triple bypass. But of course, no! 2 ambulances, and they all start working on my husband. And off we go to the hospital. But I already know. My daughter and I are a mess. I mean, he died in front of my face, and she watched all of this happen. Right after my husband died, my father had a stroke, and then he had to have a double bypass of his own. At the end of 2018, my father took a really bad fall down the stairs. This is when I made my promise to him that I would take care of Brian's pond just as lovingly as he had. And I've kept that promise. 2 months later, in February of 2019, I am on my way to pick up my daughter from school, and some jackknife blows through a red light at about 55 miles an hour, T-bones my car, spins me through the street, through grass, and yes, I had airbags, and I was able to walk away. I had a bruised boob, a bruised side, and bruised ribs. Now I have PTSD at the traffic light of my development. It is the only way out of my development to turn onto a main road, and it is the only way to get into my development to make a left at that light every time I approach that light. I hesitate, I get anxious, I hate that intersection. And there are so many accidents there, and it scares the hell out of me. We're either at Leo Life 5 or 6. Check. All right, now 6 months later, the black cloud is still there. It is still over me. You would think it would have gone away by now, but no. I have a cyst in my belly. So in August of 2019, I had the surgeon remove the cyst. So he removes the cyst in his office and sews it up. It opened up. So I go back to him and he cauterizes it. It opened up again. So now he told me it'll close eventually. Was it the dusty, dirty exam room where the procedure took place? Maybe it didn't, but we'll never know. So now we're in March of 2020 and the shit hits the fan. I mean, literally the shit hit the fan. My stomach starts to get swollen and it starts to get red and it starts to hurt. It hurts to walk. I have a fever of 103.5. I go back to the doctor and he wants to cauterize it. Cover your ears if you do not like curse words, because I said to him, "Are you fucking kidding me? You want to lock the infection in my stomach?" Oh, I was livid. I was livid. This man always shakes hands when he would walk in and walk out. He did not shake my hand when he walked out that door that day. So he wants to send me somewhere like a wound care center, but they have a wait for months. So I go to see another doctor. They send me for tests, blah, 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 blah. I have an abscess in my stomach and it's getting bigger. Hospitals on the East Coast here are on lockdown. They are not letting anyone in unless you're dying. Well, at this point, I was on 3 or 4 rounds of antibiotics, and I have an abscess in my stomach that if it breaks open, that's bad. And if I have too much antibiotics, that's also bad. Both of them are going to end me up in the hospital. I find a plastic surgeon with his own surgical center. All right, this is good. This works. This is perfect. United Healthcare denied the surgery because they wanted their surgeon to do it in a hospital. The other plastic surgeon I found, their office starts calling. Nobody wants to go into a hospital. No doctor wants to operate on me in a hospital. I guess it's like the middle of April and the hole closed. It's sealed over. But this wasn't good because now my stomach starts to extend. I mean, like extend. And I am sitting on the couch and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I have to get this out. And so I took video of it. I sent it to the surgeon. I said, send this to United Healthcare, and they did. And United Healthcare said no. Cover your ears. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? We cancel the next surgery. We make it for the following week. And again, the day before the surgery, United Healthcare says no. It was 3 or 4 surgeries that had to be canceled because United kept denying. Is the slot still open for tomorrow? They said yes. I said, here's my credit card. And I paid out of pocket for my life-saving surgery because United Healthcare would not. Leo Life, number 6 or 7? Check. And then the last thing about me, because all of this is in order, I have essential tremor, and so my head shakes. My hands shake a little too, but I take something called gabapentin for it, but sometimes it doesn't always work. So if you see my head shaking, that is why. I have essential tremor. This is me. Yeah, getting old sucks, right? No, nope. Maturing sucks. Why is this woman on YouTube? So now we're in 2021. No new catastrophes. Black cloud is gone. Now I could maybe go out and I could meet someone. But my face is falling. My hair is thinning. And I am finishing up my post-menopausal hell. And so I go on YouTube looking for someone who's going through the same crap. There was no one. There was no one. So I figure there had to be more people out there like me. So I thought it would be really nice to reach other people to help them with their curls. Share my wisdom and my knowledge. So February of 2022, I posted my first video. You don't know how little you know until you find out the shit you don't know. And now for my all-time favorite saying. That which does not kill me will only make me stronger. There's nowhere to go after that. I hope you stuck around till the end. And if you did, congratulations. Now you know me better than a lot of people. Don't you feel special? Until my next video, my girlies. Cheers. And ciao for now. There he is. So instead of going to high school, traumatic brain disorder or traumatic brain injury. What's up? What's up? Look at that boy. Look at that boy. You'll be seeing other things. I don't know how to explain that, and I don't even know if I did that correctly. Okay, right here. Here's my belly button. Here's my belly button.